Hey, welcome back to Canuck Dave Disc Golf. I'm Dave, and today this video is going to be design your own disc golf course. We're here in Abbotsford, British Columbia, my home city, and unfortunately we do not have a disc golf course in our city yet, and so we're wanting to make that happen. And so we're going to do a design your course here. We're here in Clearbrook Park here in Abbotsford, and we're going to lay out 18 holes. You'll be able to see the course in the description, and also if you would, we're trying to ask people to send an email. We're going to leave the instructions how to email the Abbotsford Parks and Rec in the description, and we'd love you to email and ask them to start and open up a disc golf course here in Abbotsford. But for today, come join us. We're setting up 18 holes. We're trying to make, number one, we want it to be a safe course for all the pedestrians and people crossing. We don't want to cross through and hit each other. Number two, we want to make sure that the holes flow as well as we can, and then we want to have a lot of fun and make them fair for everyone. So come join us, let us know what you think of our course, and hope you have a good time. Thanks. All right, here's the course overview done by my son Jonas. Did a great job laying out the 18 holes here on this 60-acre piece of property of Clearbrook Park. We'll be starting on the west side of the park, just by the entrance. You can see there, 205-foot par 3, starting at a high elevation downhill to the left, just behind those bushes. And we'll be starting off here with about a 25-foot birdie putt that I didn't even come close on, but it's a fun starting hole. Get you warmed up, and then we're going to be going up the side of this hill here to the second hole. And one of the cool things about this property is there's some great elevation changes. This one is kind of on the same level, but there's the slope down into the soccer field. So if you end up short, you're rolling down there. If you're behind the basket and you miss, there's potential for rollouts. Sunk the birdie putt there, and that's hole 2. On to hole 3. We're starting at the same level of a tee off and going uphill, probably 20 or 30 feet to the basket. You can see that walkway going up, and then you can see the tip of the basket there, 290 feet uphill. Some of the holes here on this course, I was inspired by a Trilogy temporary disc golf tournament here I played in a couple of years ago, and it was on this very property. They managed to get 18 baskets and had a fun tournament here, a Trilogy tournament. I'll use this poo as my marker. Is where you get 3 discs, and you can only use those 3 discs in the tournament. One driver, one mid-range, one putter. It's a fun way to play. On to hole 4, par 4, our first par 4. Shooting my Star Destroyer, giving it a flex shot out there to about 150 to 200 feet from the pin, maybe closer. Using my harp and sawed it off. Being a good golfer, warning early release the guy walking his dog out there. It was pretty cool today as we were playing. There's a bunch of target golfers out on the course who come out all over the Fraser Valley. I think they're called, well, I forget actually their name of their group, but they are out all over the place playing and choosing targets. It's a fun group. I've played with them before. So in for the par there on that first par 4. And this is one of my favorite holes that we put together. It's a tunnel shot down these trees, 260 feet. Playing my Buzz SS, had a nice turn on it. It's great practice trying to throw a straight shot for 250 to 300 feet. And that's always better if you hit the birdie putt. Just there behind this basket, you can see there's some track and field equipment. There's a discus and shot put launching pad. And just to the left of that is our 6th tee pad for a par 3, about 290 feet. Throwing my DD2 G-line. Threw it really well. And right at the base of the basket. Trying to add some drama there to the putt. So we're up to -3. And on the left side of this shot, there's full of blackberries, and my goal was to stay right of them. And I didn't achieve that goal. Took the DD2, hyzered right off in the middle of the blackberries. Fortunately, Fortunately, I found it. I have a Harp forehand upshot.
Looking good.
And got to probably about 15 feet right behind the trees. And these baskets that I use have probably about 8 chains as opposed to maybe 12 to 16 at most courses. So I'm going to blame it on that for that miss. Here's an uphill par 3, our 8th hole, about 165 feet, but it's severely uphill. There's a couple of these mounds with electrical towers on them, and they make for great options for disc holes, for tee-offs, for just obstacles to avoid. All right, now we get to go downhill. And we'll be taking advantage of the tee-off spot going back downhill for our 9th hole, about 325 feet. Playing my Destroyer forehand, laying it out there. It's coming back. And just outside the circle, I think.
That was a fun shot.
I think it's just starting to drizzle a little bit at this time of the round. And after this 9th hole, we took a little break. You'll notice at the end of the shot, you'll see me with a little wardrobe change.
That was a fun hole.
So here we are, starting the 10th hole. There's a dog park on the right, and that fence line is all out of bounds to the right. 280 feet, shooting my Destroyer and keeping it in bounds, which is good, and then just hyzering out there for, again, about a 40-foot birdie putt. Just off the rim. There's so much potential here for some really nice holes along the outskirts of this property, although there would need to be some severe clearing of some blackberry bushes, which I know we all like to do. Here's a par 4, our second one, about 410 feet. It's not that far, but there's a real landing spot about 250 feet out there, because if you go too far, right or left, you're in the bushes, the blackberries again. So I'm shooting my Harp upshot to this second series of electrical towers with the raised platform. And in for the bird. Okay, this next hole, 12, there's going to be a walkway on the right side, and if you land left of that, it's out of bounds. Shooting my Star Firebird, you can see the basket up on the right. Manages to hyzer out just in time, and we're safe. And the gallery, who is following me around for a couple holes, is here to watch. Just missed. I'm saying that a lot today.
Just didn't give it quite enough oomph.
Just a real gorgeous park here. There's a lot of kind of pedestrians on the side. There's some fields, but there's so much unused property. This makes for a real potential good course. Here's the 13th hole, 350 feet. You can see the basket up on the right.
That was safe.
We found a good stump
so I wouldn't accidentally go into the blackberries.
where we put our disc basket up on. So I have a little upshot there with the Harp again.
Oh, sit.
And found myself right behind some tall bushes. I had to use my 6'7" height and reach to try a turbo putt over top. And we got it. And the basket's down.
Still in, right?
I had to check the rule book on that. If you make a basket and the basket falls over,
Sweet turbo.
it's in. It counts.
Too much turbo.
Until I can be proved otherwise. Okay, here's another tee off from a raised platform we found at the far eastern part of the park. And we have about 330 foot, par 3. But Jonas is videoing right behind the basket. I thought I was going to nail him or go in the hoop. In the hoop. I'm thinking basketball there for a second. My other former sport, until I had too many knee surgeries. And disc golf is way easier on the knees, generally speaking. So here's another raised tee off. Number 15, par 3, 270 feet. Overshot the basket, and I was fortunate to hit some trees just about 10, 20 feet behind where I hit those trees, it drops off severely into a big gully. Sunk a cool putt between those limbs, and we got ourselves a bird.
Sweet.
Yes, and here's number 16. Working our way on the right side, heading back west on the property. Found a green where there's brambles all the way around, about 40 feet circling this green. Trying to head back on the right side of the property, so there's disc golfers going back on the right side. We're coming back on the other side.
On to 17.
And we're on to hole 17. This is one of my favorite holes from the Trilogy tournament I mentioned earlier. It's a par 4, about 460 feet. Throwing my DD2, and through the unintentional thrower, which really worked out, kept rolling right up to the opening of the green.
I meant to do a forehand roller.
Did I sound believable? Yes, I think I did. Again, if we had a course here, I'd probably want to trim the ceiling of that opening just to have a little better opportunity to have a birdie or eagle shot in there. Last hole, 18, par 3, 410 foot bomber. Throwing my DD2 forehand. Got a good move on it. Hyzering out, flipping it up. And probably just below 400 feet ended up. And about a 45 footer for bird. Maybe a little further. Nice round.
There it is. That's 18.
Hey, thanks for joining us on our Design Your Own course here in Abbotsford. Let us know what you thought of the course. Please don't forget in the description to go there and send an email to Abbotsford Parks and Recs to let them know we want a course here in Abbotsford. And please also subscribe and like. We just got over our 100 subscriptions for the first time, and we're on our way to 2 million. So hopefully you can help us on our way to get there. Have a great time. Talk to you later.